This season on Little Debi, which is a bite-sized version of the longer podcast, Upcycling with Deb, we're looking at 3-word credos, 3 words to live by, little quips and tidbits that you can remember and teach to your children. You're listening to Upcycling with Deb. I'm your host, Deb Colameta. You can reach me on Facebook and Instagram at Deb Colameta, or go to my website, thedebsite.com. This week's 3-word phrase is anchor the feeling. Anchor the feeling. Oh, what does that mean? This is something that I try to do, and my husband has repeated this to me. I've said it to him many times. When you're having a really good day or you've accomplished something, it can be something as simple as cleaning a room, cleaning your linen closet, vacuuming or detailing your own car. It can be something as large as winning a new client, getting paid for your business that you own, or a child getting a good grade after having studied and worked hard for that particular assignment or test. Anchor that feeling. Anchor the feeling. Remember what it feels like. Remember how it feels to stand in a room that you've just spent an hour tidying up, purging, and cleaning. Remember that. Anchor how good that feels and try to remember that in your mind. Really make a memory, an impression, an imprint of how good you feel in that moment, so that when the room is messy again and you're trying to talk yourself into cleaning it up, you can go back to that moment in time and think, oh, I remember how good it felt when the room was nice and clean. Or when you've accomplished something, when your kid has maybe studied for a test and they ended up getting a good grade, and you make a big deal out of that and you say, you worked really hard for this. I hope you anchor this feeling of accomplishment. Next time they have a test or something that they're trying to do, or some kind of an athletic event that they're practicing for, or a recital, anything like that, you can help them recall that good feeling that they had when they worked hard and they found and saw the results that it paid off. If you're having a day where you've been eating healthy and nutritious food and it makes you feel good, anchor the feeling of feeling not bloated, not gross because you raided a candy pile, not yucky because you had too much dessert. Those are yucky feelings. You don't want any part of those. You want to disassociate yourself with that. And on the flip side, when you do have a day where you're like, oh, I'm feeling good about how I ate, I'm feeling good about how I look and how I feel, take a minute to anchor the feeling, bookmark it, and make it so that you can recall that feeling in the future and hopefully manifest more of that instead of not feeling good about yourself. When you have an accomplishment of yourself, when you've achieved something, take a minute to really just be thankful, practice gratitude, anchor the feeling. In another episode of Upcycling with Deb, I talked about the Paul Hollywood handshake, where I am trying to get away from rewarding my kids for doing good things by giving them things. That is part of this anchor the feeling mentality, where you are trying to get them to remember how good they feel, and that in and of itself is the reward. And it's a lot cheaper that way and a lot less wasteful, because you're not just getting tchotchke just to give them some kind of a reward. So I would encourage you to do that. Listen to that episode where I'm talking about giving them a meaningful couple of minutes of praise and helping them to realize their accomplishment. And that's all part of helping your child to anchor that feeling so that they can recall that when they're facing a challenge in the future. And if anyone does anything like mindfulness or meditation or prayer, and you're trying to acquire something in your life, say you want a sports car and you've gone to test drive that sports car, when you're test driving it, anchor how it feels. Anchor how the steering wheel feels in your hands. Anchor how you feel stepping into that car. Take that and make like a mental note of it so that you can recall that at any time. If you want a bigger house, if you want a different house, and you've gone to an open house and you feel like, wow, this feels like this is my new space. This is my next chapter. Even if it's not right at that moment and it's something that maybe is a few years away or months away or whatnot, still try to take that inkling of that premonition or that gut feeling that says this is what's right for me, maybe not right now but one day, and anchor that feeling so that you can recall it in the future, and so that when you do find something that is right for you, you'll be able to recognize it right away. And that's one of the things that I try to get people to be aware of. If you're looking to move into a bigger house, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're looking to make some kind of a change in your life, you should be taking the steps now to prepare for that. And by decluttering your house and getting it market ready, even if you're not going to sell for another few years, you're taking steps, you're putting it out there to the universe, you're telling the world, I'm ready for that next step. And you're paving the way, you're paving your own path to the next step in your dream. So it's very important that you do that, you take those physical action steps to make sure that you're ready for the next big thing in your life. And be sure to take all of those wins along the way and feel good about it in every cell of your body and anchor the feeling. I hope you'll connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, at Deb Colameta, or go to my website, thedebsite.com.